Hey Scorpio, I hope you guys are doing great. This is going to be your love reading for the end of July. If you want to skip the card pull and go straight to your messages, feel free to click the timestamp in the description box below. Otherwise, let's go ahead and get started. So, we're first going to pull a couple of oracle cards just to see what the overall energy is that's surrounding this reading for you guys. And the first one that came out is full moon eclipse. Conclusions are within reach. Let's grab the Romance Angels deck and see what other energies are surrounding you for this reading. And what we have is heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Okay, so we'll see how those tie into your reading, but let's get into some tarot and start first with your current energy. What's going on with my Scorpio collective right now? And for you, we have the Devil. Okay. Let's check your person's energy. For Scorpio's person, whether or not they're in your physical space or not, we have the 10 of coins in reverse. For challenges, obstacles, anything that's currently hidden from you, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, advice from Spirit, we are absolutely not taking all of those cards, like 8 of them fell out. Let's try this again. Advice from Spirit. 1 or 2 cards will be perfectly fine. Thank you. We have the 6 of Swords. And for your potential outcome. Potential outcome for my Scorpio collective. We have the Queen of Coins. Okay, so let's grab another tarot deck and see if we can clarify these messages a little bit more for you. Starting again with your current energy. Clarifying the Devil, we have the 7 of Chalices. For your person's energy, okay, we have a couple that came out. Clarifying the 10 of Coins in reverse, we have the Hanged Man, and we also have the King of Swords. For obstacles, challenges, and what's currently hidden from you, all right, we have the 9 of Wands, and we also have the Hierophant. For advice from Spirit, okay, we have one that flipped over. We have the 8 of Wands. And for your potential outcome. Potential outcome from my Scorpio collective, we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so let's grab some oracle cards and get some final messages before we dive into your reading. Your energy, bold move. Your person's energy, that one wanted to flip and flipped back. All right, we have one that came out. We have reckless. For challenges, obstacles, and what's currently hidden from you, we have the Screw. For advice from Spirit, we have sunshine. And for the potential outcome, we have taking out the trash. All right, so Scorpio, let's get into this. With the overall energy, we have conclusions are within reach, and we also have heart-to-heart conversations. So what it feels like is that the answers that you have been looking for in terms of your interaction, your relationship with another person, they're going to be answered in very short order. And I think that that's going to come out from, I just heard brutal honesty. So it feels as though there is a conversation coming. There's a conversation on the horizon that is going to provide you with all of the answers for the questions that you sort of have swirling around in your head right now as it relates to this person. So looking at your current energy, we have the Devil, we have the 7 of Chalices, and we also have bold move. An invitation, being proactive, taking steps, making things happen, gift for someone or yourself. So what this feels like for your energy right now, Scorpio, is that you are, I want to say you're in a little bit of state of confusion, and it feels very frustrating. It almost feels as though trying to figure out what's going on between you and this person, what's going on in this situation is driving you up a wall. I don't necessarily want to say that it's to the point of obsession, but it does very much feel like this is something that is just constantly, constantly, constantly in the back of your head. And it feels as though it's reaching a sort of boiling point where you've recognized that, okay, this can't keep up. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep letting this consume my thoughts. And it very much feels as though you are in a place where you are kind of ready to just call this person to the carpet and be like, look, what's the deal? Like, and I feel like that's pretty out of character for you. It almost feels as though generally you're not really a confrontational type of person, that you're almost content to just see how things unfold. But for whatever reason, in this particular situation, you were just like, nah, we're not going to let this dangle over my head indefinitely. Like, I need some answers. I need to figure this out. So, looking at your person's energy, we have the Ten of Coins in reverse, we have the Hanged Man, we have the King of Swords, and we also have Reckless. Acting recklessly, getting lit, highly volatile relationship or personality, use precautions or protection. So, while I don't necessarily feel that this relationship is super volatile, I do feel like it's unstable. And I think that that's because this person doesn't necessarily have stability. I don't think that they've been communicating with you particularly effectively either. Either they're not really telling you much, or they're not telling you anything at all. But it feels very much as though they're in this stuck energy of trying to figure out if indeed they want to communicate with you and tell you the truth about where they are in this relationship, where they are in all of this. But it doesn't, it feels as though this person is out for a good time. I don't know that they've necessarily communicated that to you, where you might be on one side thinking that you all are getting to know each other, that you all are building something, and they don't seem to necessarily be in that vibe. And it almost feels as though they're trying to figure out how to communicate that to you without actually having the responsibility of saying it. It almost feels as though they're intentionally trying to get you to sort of call it quits without having that grown up conversation, which is a real punk way to do things. But, humans are going to human sometimes. So, looking at the challenges, obstacles, and what's currently hidden, we have the Ace of Swords in reverse. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Hierophant. And we also have the Screw. Not interested, leaving quickly, in trouble, getting shafted, horizontal jogging, telling someone off. So, what I feel like the biggest challenges or obstacles that you're facing right now is the Ace of Swords in reverse. Ace of Swords upright. That's fresh new communication. That's an open, honest talk. That's something that I don't think you all have had yet. And it's wearing on you, right? Because there's a lack of foundation. There's sort of this lack of, I just heard lack of respect. And not that, this person is walking around calling you names, but it's sort of like that just respect that adults should have for each other when they're dealing with each other, of just being upfront, of being clear, of letting you know where they stand, you letting them know where you stand, so you all can figure it out from there, whether or not you move forward together or whether you move forward on your respective paths. But it feels as though you haven't gotten the respect of that conversation. It feels as though this person has sort of been dodging it. Looking at and let me go back because I just heard popping off. So what I feel is coming is that conversation, is that communication. And I feel that it's going to be you calling this person to the carpet, letting them know that you are not along for the ride if you don't know what's going on. So I feel as though this will be coming from you. This telling someone off. I don't I don't necessarily know that you'll curse them out, but I don't think that this conversation is going to be like sunshine and roses and bunnies and butterflies. I think it's going to be a little more gutter than that, but yeah, not saying that it's not deserved, but just saying what I see. So, for the advice from Spirit, we have the Six of Swords, we have the Eight of Wands, and we also have Sunshine. Good vibes, happy times, positive attitude, things going well. The answer is yes. So, what I'm feeling is that a Spirit is saying that when it comes to your engagement with this person, the only way that you are going to sort of get to that place of understanding, those calmer waters where this is not swirling around in your head constantly, where you're not in sort of this state of confusion and frustration, is to very clearly communicate to this person what you are looking for, what your expectations are, and asking them point blank, where are they with this? And I feel like there's a little bit of caution. I just heard you can, what is it? You can attract more flies with honey. So this pop off that you might be inclined to do because of this frustration and uncertainty, we might want to dial that back just a little bit. Because I think oftentimes when we have a very emotional response to somebody, or we communicate from just a place of pure emotion that comes out as anger or aggression or frustration, it tends to shut the other person down. And a lot of times we don't get the answers that we're looking for because they're so focused on being defensive that they can't even think about, having that sort of open, honest communication. They're only thinking about protecting themselves from this barrage that's coming towards them. So I'm feeling like Spirit is advising you that if you decide to make this bold move, temper yourself a little bit in terms of how you communicate. There's no reason to go in guns blazing. And that's not to say that at the same time that you should go in, mealy mouthed and, super accommodating and, oh, babe, and giggling because, like, this isn't really funny. Like, you're stressed. And it's okay to be stressed, but this is a time for you to be very calm, very clear, very focused, very even and balanced, and just sort of coming in, being open and, expressing that you would like for them to be open as well. That's only if you decide to take this step forward. Free will is a thing. You absolutely do not have to. But Spirit is saying that if you choose to make this bold move, then maybe this is how you should approach it. Looking at your potential outcome, we have the Queen of Coins, we have the Four of Pentacles, and we also have taking out the trash, finally dumping that loser, cutting ties, emotional clearing, self-love, spring cleaning, and healing. So what I feel like is that at some point, you're going to stop holding back this frustration, right? And I think that you, with this person, are going to put your cards out on the table and be very open and honest and let the chips fall where they may. What I feel is that I don't think that this person's response in this conversation is going to be something that you're particularly happy with. It's not what you're looking for. Again, I think that where, you were sort of looking maybe for something a little more stable and solid, this person right here is not able to, for whatever reason, offer you that at this time. Now, whether that's by choice, where they just don't want to be in a stable, committed relationship, or if they're having issues with, within their own life of being stable in terms of money, career, housing, education, whatever. I don't know that they're able to offer you that. And I don't think that you are going to spend too much more time dealing with this person. But I think that this conversation that happens is going to give you the clarity and the confirmation that you need to get out of this confusion and this frustration. and that will allow you to move on. So I'm going to grab one last oracle card for you and see what final message. Okay, we're not taking all of those. What final message Spirit has for you. Just one or two cards will be absolutely perfect. What's the final message that we have for a Scorpio collective? Okay. And so what we have here, we have the pearl threaded. So I feel like this is Spirit's way of saying that, you have something beautiful, right? And when pearls are connected, they typically don't use metal, they use threads to hold things together. They're a lot stronger than their look, but they're not indestructible, right? So this connection that you have with this person, it can be cut at any time. It can be cut. And you can free yourself up to be rethreaded to something else that's equally beautiful. But you have a lot of gifts. You have a lot to offer. You have a lot of beauty. And there's no sense in attaching yourself to someone who doesn't recognize that or doesn't want to, what's a good way of putting it? Who doesn't recognize it and doesn't want to show that off to the world, who doesn't want to continue building, to continue adding to those strands with you. So, as you have this conversation, if you have this conversation, think about whether or not this person is telling you that they're ready to continually add onto this strand of beauty that you have. If they're not, then it's probably a good idea to go ahead and take your thread and just leave those open spaces for someone who is prepared to start adding to it, who actually is bringing something to the table. So I'm going to leave it there for you, Scorpios. I hope that this was helpful and I hope that it resonated. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. In the meanwhile, stay safe, stay healthy, and I am sending you all huge hugs.